What's up, comrades? Monk Plays here with my first Dune Awakening guide. In this video, I'm going to take you through some tips that I wish I knew sooner that will help you to survive the harsh desert of Arrakis. Whether you PvE solo or PvP in a guild, I hope some of these tips help you in your future ventures into the desert. Here we go. As you'll find out very quickly in Dune, there is a lot of freedom in exploration. So finding the best of means of traversal is key. Whilst climbing is effective, it can be tricky when tackling larger rock formations and can take some time. This tip involves using the Shigawire claw and a suspensor belt to achieve massive heights. As shown here, simply fire the claw above you and immediately activate your suspensor to cut your ascension time down to seconds. Just make sure you have a power pack and all your equipment is in good working order, or you may end up stuck on top of a mountain. Shigawire claw is a trooper skill, but can be learned by any class by visiting the trainer at the trade post in Haga Basin South. This next tip involves skipping some animations by dodging through them to speed up harvesting slightly. Here you can see the difference in time it takes for the full animation when extracting blood compared to when dodging through it. Useful if you still have multiple bodies left to harvest. It can help expedite this, especially if there are still live enemies or players around. I find this particularly useful when harvesting fields of dew very quickly, especially considering how small the optimal harvesting window is. This tip is really just to show you what I think is the best base location in the West Vermilius Gap. This is only my second base, and the location is so good, I think I'll keep it permanently. It straddles 3 separate areas with everything except endgame materials nearby. Most of the materials are a short buggy ride away and will help you quickly build your first ornithopter. Once you have that base location becomes less important, as you can quickly fly anywhere to gather materials. Now this next tip is something you may be already aware of, but I'm ashamed to say it took me far too long to realize you could do this. So maybe you're in the same boat and this will be useful. After venturing out on a harvest run and returning with a buggy full of materials, the next thing you need to do is store it. Rather than taking your time to store it individually by carrying it in your backpack, you can go to any storage container that has space and change the drop-down at the top to the vehicle you want to transfer, from which allows you to deposit it directly in seconds. Another basic tip that does come in handy, especially in the early stages of the game, is to aim to have at least 2 of any equipment that is needed for refining materials to maximize productivity. A lot of the materials from mid to end game require other refined materials to make. So, setting up 2 refiners to make both materials will save hours on production. Finally, a tip for transferring your buggy. Now I'm sure we can all agree that harvesting with your buggy is much more efficient than doing so with a cut array. However, the buggy is limited to where it can travel. A good trick is to disassemble your buggy with the welding torch and put the parts in your inventory. Then you can fly to wherever you want to gather materials quickly. Here I'm going to Haga Rift to gather some crystal. You can drive here, but there are only a few entrances, and it can be easy to get lost when down there, so I like to fly. Once there, you'll need to find somewhere you can reassemble your buggy. You might need to get creative when choosing where to place your buggy, as the game doesn't always let you build just anywhere. In this instance, I had to build my buggy on the cliff above one of the crystal mines. I have been able to build it right next to the mine before, but this time I couldn't find space. The buggy's pretty sturdy, so I figured it would survive dropping down in front of the mine, and then I'll just disassemble it from there and carry it home. It's important to note that you need to make sure you have enough fuel to put in your buggy, as you'll need to fill it each time you reassemble. You'll also need to transfer the materials to your fopter for travel back, so make sure you have enough storage. And that's all for my tips on surviving Arrakis. I hope they help you with your adventures in the desert. I've been Monk Plays. I'll see you on the dunes.